Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating chapter that takes abstract math concepts and turns them into an exciting, real-world business adventure. Have you ever wondered how textbook math actually works when real money and actual products are on the line? Well, grab your hats because we're unpacking this chapter's journey to a sunny coconut farm to completely demystify division. Here's our roadmap for the chapter today. Number 1, math facts and relationships. Number 2, welcome to the farm. Number 3, learning place value division. Number 4, the rules of remainders. And finally, number 5, real-world math logic. Let's jump right into section 1, math facts and relationships. We're going to kick things off by warming up our math brains just a bit. Before we can solve massive business problems, we really need to discover the hidden connection between multiplication and division. If we look at these numbers side by side, we have 5 times 7 equals 35, and right next to it, 35 divided by 5 equals 7. It's basically magic. Every single multiplication fact can be instantly reversed into a division statement. So if you know your multiplication tables, you already know your division tables. They are literally two sides of the exact same coin. But to truly speak the language of math like a pro, we need the right vocabulary. Let's use our 35 divided by 5 equals 7 example. That 35, that's the total amount, and we call that the dividend. The 5 represents the number of groups we're splitting that total into, which is our divisor. And that 7, our final answer, the amount in each group, that's the quotient. Dividend, divisor, quotient. You'll definitely want to keep those terms in your back pocket.
Moving right along to section 2, welcome to the farm.
Let's step completely out of those abstract numbers for a second and travel to a beautiful coconut farm in Kerala, India, which is featured in our chapter. Say hello to Susie and Sunita. These two savvy entrepreneurs harvested over 1,000 coconuts in April alone. But as you can imagine, running a successful business isn't just about growing things. It's about selling, tracking, and organizing the inventory. And for all of that, they really need our math skills. So here's their very first challenge. They sold exactly 582 coconuts, and they distributed them equally among 6 of their regular customers. Now, think about how we can take our brand new division vocabulary and apply it here. Our dividend, which is the total, is 582. Our divisor, the number of groups, or in this case, customers, is 6. We need to find the quotient. Okay, so how do we actually tackle 582 divided by 6? Well, we can use a super helpful strategy called partial quotients. Instead of trying to solve this big number all at once, we just break it down into friendly, manageable chunks. We know that 6 times 90 is 540. So let's just take away 540 coconuts right off the bat, which covers 90 coconuts per customer. That leaves us with just 42 coconuts left to sort. And what is 42 divided by 6? Exactly 7. Add our 90 and our 7 together, and we find out each customer perfectly receives 97 coconuts. Pretty neat, right? Okay, on to section 3, learning place value division. As Susie and Sunitha's business grows, naturally, so do their numbers. We're moving into the thousands now, which means we need a much stronger tool. When tackling a massive number like 7,032 divided by 6, it might look a little intimidating at first glance. But honestly, taking it step by step through the place values makes it totally manageable. We simply start from the largest value, the thousands. Then we move down the line, hundreds, tens, and finally the ones. If you take it one column at a time, absolutely no number is too big to divide. Now, this brings up a really common trap that we all fall into from time to time. When we divide column by column, we have to be extremely careful. Sometimes a specific column's value is actually smaller than our divisor, meaning we can't divide it without breaking it down to the next place value. When that happens, we absolutely must place a 0 in that specific place value in our quotient. Skipping that 0 completely changes the answer, turning, say, 405 into just 45. That's a huge difference, so always respect the 0. Next up is section 4, the rules of remainders. In a perfect math textbook, numbers always divide completely evenly. But on a working farm, and let's face it, in the real world, things just don't always align perfectly. The crucial point here is this golden mathematical formula. The dividend, or n, equals the divisor, d, times the quotient, q, plus r. And that r is the remainder. It's that stubborn amount left over simply because it wasn't quite large enough to form another full group. Let's look at this practically for Susie and Sunitha.
After all their sales, they have 535 coconuts remaining, which they plan to dry out and extract oil from. They need to pack these 535 coconuts into heavy-duty bags, and each bag holds exactly 25 coconuts. The big question is, how many physical bags do they actually need to go fetch from their storage shed? And here is exactly where real-world math gets fascinating. Dividing 535 by 25 gives us a quotient of 21, but with a remainder of 10. That means they have 21 full bags and 10 loose coconuts just sitting on the floor. But think about the actual oil extraction process. They can't just leave those 10 coconuts behind to rot. Even though the bag won't be full, they absolutely need a 22nd bag to hold that remainder. So while the pure math answer is 21 remainder 10, the real-world business answer is 22 bags.
Let's bring it home with Section 5, Real-World Math Logic.
To wrap up our explainer today, let's look at a few more examples from the chapter of how mathematical logic keeps real businesses afloat. Coconuts are incredibly versatile, right? The farm even sells the leftover husks for making natural fiber. The going rate is 23 rupees per kilogram. In May, their ledger shows they earned exactly 9,913 rupees just from husk sales. So, how much husk did they actually sell? Well, by taking their total earnings of 9,913 as our dividend and dividing it by the 23 rupees per kilo divisor, we can quickly solve the mystery. They sold exactly 431 kilograms of husk. And you know, this logic applies to literally every business. Take a look at this record book from Munshi Law's vegetable market. Some of the numbers got accidentally erased, but we don't need to panic. We know that the cost per kilogram multiplied by the quantity equals the total. It perfectly mirrors our dividend equals divisor times quotient rule. So for the potatoes, we just take the total of 2,240 divided by the 20 rupee cost, and we instantly know he sold 112 kilograms. We can rebuild this entire table using the absolute magic of reverse multiplication. Math is ultimately all about logic and rules. Check out these mathematical statements from our source text. Ask yourself, are these always true, sometimes true, or never true? For instance, changing the order in subtraction. Does it really make no difference? Well, 10 minus 5 is 5, but 5 minus 10 is negative 5, so that statement is never true. What about doubling one number and having the other in multiplication? Let's try 4 times 4, which is 16. Double the first to get 8, half the second to get 2. 8 times 2 is still 16. That one is always true. Testing out these logic statements is a brilliant way to make your mathematical intuition razor sharp. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. We've gone all the way from basic multiplication to managing a full-blown coconut farm using place value division and remainders. But I certainly won't let you go without a challenge. I leave you with this final provocative puzzle directly from our source chapter. The statement is this: when two odd numbers are added, the sum is even. Try adding some odd numbers together right now. Can you find a single example where this rule actually breaks down and is false? Grab a piece of scratch paper, test it out for yourself, and keep exploring the amazing logic of numbers. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.